Hey guys, so it's time for my Iron Man 3 review, and if I look a bit tired, it's because I am. I record a lot of these reviews in bulk, so I will have literally just recorded my Avengers review and then started on my Iron Man 3 review, so I'm a little bit tired at this point, but I will soldier on because we have entered phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is a fine way to start. It's not the best Marvel MCU movie, but it's not the worst. It's very middle of the road, is Iron Man 3. Which is a little bit of a shame because I love Shane Black, I love the Nice Guys. But I do think he can be a bit hit or miss sometimes. This is mostly a hit. Uh, Basically, the story of this is post Avengers. Tony Stark is suffering from PTSD from his trip up the wormhole. And there's also a terrorist causing a lot of mayhem called the Mandarin. And the Mandarin makes it personal by attacking Happy Hogan. And so Iron Man has to fight the Mandarin, who in the comics is probably his biggest villain of all, is the Mandarin. Shame the movies didn't go that route. Now, this isn't going to be one of those reviews where I rant about the Mandarin twist because they have been done before, and I don't hate the Mandarin twist. I think it's kind of a little bit clever to have this. It's a bait and switch pretty much, but this whole idea of, this big terrorist that you see on TV and is the face of evil, and then it to be revealed to not even be that guy, to be someone in the shadows. That's very clever, because it tries to get across this idea of, if you can put a face on terror, then you can hide behind that, They were trying to be smart, and it was a smart idea. I just don't think it was executed very well because Guy Pearce as the Mandarin in the end is just kind of eh. It would have been cooler to see Ben Kingsley just as the Mandarin. He'd have been awesome. But he's still really fun as the actor Trevor, who's revealed to be the Mandarin because it's all a hoax. So I don't hate the Mandarin twist, I just wish it had been executed better, or at least they had used someone who was Asian and not slightly whitewash the character, or just give the character traits to Killian, who is essentially just a hybrid of Stain from the first Iron Man movie and both Hammer and Whiplash from Iron Man 2. He just felt like we had seen it before and we had fought it before in the first two Iron Man movies, so it really was absolutely nothing new. And having him start off as a poor man's version of the start of Jim Carrey's Riddler and Batman Forever, that's the vibe I got off of Guy Pearce in the first couple of minutes of this movie. Really didn't do anything for me as a villain, but as an overall film, it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable sort of road trippy movie. I like the narrative of Tony having to save the world without his suit for a lot of it, and just tries to get across that theme of, is Tony just the suit, or is Tony more than just the suit? Because he uses his head a lot here, and I feel like it's a much better excuse to have there be a long stretch of time between Iron Man action scenes than we had in Iron Man 2, because obviously it's set up that Tony doesn't have his suits. And obviously I love the Tony PTSD angle. I don't love PTSD, honestly, but I just like the idea of this rich billionaire character that we've seen, and it shows a real human side to a character who a lot of the times can sometimes feel a bit too non-human in how he acts and how snarky he is, and just his whole power set and his personality can be a little bit non-relatable, but I feel giving him that mental issue kind of, again, helped his relatability so that he doesn't become too unrelatable again, because of, he can be, he has that, the character at this point, I don't know whether that was just how Robert Downey Jr. portrays him or how he's written, but sometimes he can just feel a little too unrelatable. But no, I like that. I like how it sets up things without us even knowing it. Like, it sets up Tony having a connection to Thanos later on down the line at the end of Phase 3 that we didn't even know about when we first saw this movie. But looking forward now, Tony's PTSD accounts for so much of the character journey of Tony post Phase 1. And the fact that we can look back now at this film and see how that angle sort of progresses from Iron Man 3 to Age of Ultron to Civil War to eventually, when Spider-Man comes in, to then Infinity War and Endgame, and whatever happens in Endgame. We don't know yet. I think he's going to die. Cap's obviously going to die, but that's a different video and a couple of breakdowns to go, but so I do like that element of it. I like Tony's connection with and chemistry with the kid. Like, I know he's been in a bunch of things. The Jurassic Park kid, I can't remember his name. Not Jurassic Park kid, Jurassic World. The kid from Jurassic World. But I like the chemistry and that whole relationship. I think that was quite well done. And it didn't last too long. Like, I feel like it would have been carried on longer, would have hurt the film. This film has some great action scenes. Like, I think the best overall action scene in any of the standalone Iron Man films is the airplane scene. I just think that was great. But maybe my biggest issue with the film, which is it's kind of ironic because it was the big issue with Iron Man 2 was that it spent too much time connecting into the universe, that it took away from the narrative. My biggest issue with Iron Man 3 was I don't think it connected to the overall MCU enough for where the story eventually went. I didn't want Thor and Hulk and Captain America all popping up, but I just feel like there could have been, at least even a Nick Fury cameo for a couple seconds, or just anyone from S.H.I.E.L.D. Because in this movie, the President gets fucking kidnapped. The President of America gets kidnapped, and no Captain America, no S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, it feels a bit off for me, So, like, I don't want every film to really connect, but, like, I feel like this one could have had a couple lines of, like, oh, S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing this, and Captain America is doing that, just to explain where they are, because it just feels a little weird that the President of the United States of America gets kidnapped and you hear nothing from Captain America, who at this point we can assume is off working for S.H.I.E.L.D. So it just feels like S.H.I.E.L.D. would probably be involved if a terrorist, really has kidnapped the President, especially if he has some weird futuristic-y tech that, is up S.H.I.E.L.D.'s alley. So, yeah, overall, I like Iron Man 3. I don't love it. It's a film that, I'm more likely to watch if I'm just watching all of the Marvel movies or just all of the MCU movies, or if, like, my nephew who loves Iron Man at this point, really wants to watch it, I'll watch it with him. Iron Man just has never been my favourite MCU character. Like, I like him, and I love Robert Downey Jr. as that character, but he's just never been my favourite. I've always been much more of a Captain America and a Thor guy, But like I said, overall, this is all right. This is a decent start to phase two, But I feel like phase two doesn't really kick into high gear until the third movie in, which is a little bit strange. But yeah, so until next, I'm gonna give it 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Until next time, thank you and bye.